gentlemen, on my right, in the red corner from Swansea, Peter Harris. On my left, in the blue corner, from Larne, Roy Webb. This contest is over 10 3-minute rounds. Your steward in charge is Bill Shearing, and your referee is John Coyle from Wolverhampton. Seconds away, round one.
The ginger-haired Peter Harris is the man who didn't make the weight. 8 stone 8 he weighed today, and that was 2 pounds over the official limit for bantamweight. And so this fight with Roy Webb, the curly-haired Roy Webb on the right, is no longer a final eliminator for the British bantam title, the one held by Ray Gilbody. Webb instead now has a clear passage through to Gilbody, and tonight they fight at what is known in the trade as catch weights. So no eliminator at stake. A 10-round fight. It's been reduced by 2 rounds. And Peter Harris is the villain of the piece, I'm afraid. But it seemed surprising to me when I heard he was in an eliminator, because he hasn't been a bantam for years. And in fact, less than a month ago, in Swansea, in his own city, in a fight he weighed just over 9 stone. So to ask him to get down to 8'6" in the intervening period was asking a lot, and he didn't make it. Webb in the white trunks, popular hero here, of course, in Belfast, where he's had most of his fights. Webb comes from Larne in County Antrim, 24. A very good amateur, and now making a tremendous start to his professional career, having won all his 11 fights so far, and 7 of them he's won inside the distance. Well, he faces tonight in Harris a man who's never been stopped as a pro, although he's lost 5 times. Harris is nobody's pushover. On the other hand, if he's had a lot of trouble trying to get down to 8'6", there's no telling how weak he might be. Webb left hooking with some power and potency, and looking very sharp. Must be a wonderful feeling to come into this fight knowing that you're already through to a championship fight with Ray Gilbody, no matter what happens here. Webb, of course, is out of the McGuigan camp and frequently spars with Barry. Well, all the early points have certainly gone to Webb. Well, that's a very sharp start by the 24-year-old Roy Webb.
Second away, round 2.
Round 2 of a 10-rounder.
Stop boxing!
And John Coyle, the referee, wants the Webb stool pushed clear of the ring. Peter Harris, the Welshman, in the blue trunks. Harris is one of 2 boxing brothers. His younger brother, Mike, is now the Welsh professional light welterweight champion. In May last year, we saw Peter Harris box John Feeney, who was a recent contender for the British title, the British featherweight title, against Robert Dickey. They fought in Warrington, Feeney and Harris dropped a decision that I thought could have gone his way. He's not an easy man to beat, Harris. I think Webb may find that. Everything this probably depends on the sort of condition Harris is in after trying to make 8-6. That's a good left from Webb. Webb was the winner of a silver medal in the Commonwealth Games in Brisbane in '82, so that gives you some idea of his amateur class. Webb grins as Harris finds him with the left. Even back in his amateur days, Harris boxed as a featherweight. That's a good right from Webb. And the red-headed Welshman most definitely wobbled when he caught that right hand. And there's the same one again. And this time Harris comes inside and has a rest inside. He's been hurt 3 times. Well, Harris is a strong man, and he certainly needed to be in that round, because 3 times he took punches that shook him right down to his heels.
Round 3.
So Webb has had 2 good rounds and threatening to sweep away that record of Harris's of never having been stopped. 14 fights Harris has had as a pro, only 7 wins and only 2 of them inside the distance, 2 draws and 5 points defeats. First time that John Quills had to ask him to separate. Good punches from Harris. Now you see what I mean about what a tough opponent he can be. He's recovered from that second round and now threatening. And Webb just needs to keep his defenses tight here. Webb badly needs another of those right hands here. He's left himself a bit more open, Webb, in this round, and he's paid for it. He had the success with the right in the second. He's gone a little right-hand happy here, but he certainly needs to get one in, just to deter Harris a little, who's gaining in confidence. There's another right from Harris. So from having a bad second, Harris has come back to have a very good third round. Certainly this fight looks much more open, and the prospect now that it could be a very hard one for Roy Webb of Larne in County Antrim.
Seconds away, round 4.
Roy Webb in white. Peter Harris from Swansea. It's a great pity that this didn't turn out to be the final eliminator it should have been, because this would have been a really good eliminator. Two well-matched men here. Webb, of course, is probably conceding, well, he could be conceding anything up to 5 or 6 pounds, because there's no doubt at all that Harris will have put on weight since the weigh-in today. He's probably had a meal, and the weight will have gone back on again. Very durable fighter, Harris. He really was shaken at least 3 times in that second round, and yet he looks as strong as ever now. This fight's going to test their stamina, because it's being fought at a very fast pace. Once again he hurts him, and this time Harris has to go down to take a count. And he's gone down again. He got up and went down again, decided to take another rest. John Cole looks at Harris's eyes. He can go on. Round 4. Can Webb put the finisher on it now? Webb has gone fighting mad in the effort to finish this. He's expending and sometimes squandering a lot of energy. He needs just to steady himself up and try to find the one that will really count, because Harris still hasn't quite recovered. There's the bell, and Harris winks at Webb as he turns to go to the corner. Well, he certainly took a hard punch there, and he needed the rest. In fact, he had 2 little rests. He got up once, and then when he saw John Coyle wasn't looking, he went down again and had a few more seconds. So here we are again, just to see what happened there. It was a very wide right hand, and then the left. Well, you see what it was, a succession of punches, and they had a cumulative effect on Harris. There were 3 good punches there. That big right to the top of the head, then 2 more to the top of the head, and suddenly the old legs went from under him, and he took the maximum count.
Second away, round 5.
So it's a fight not short of excitement. Webb in the white trunks, the next challenger for the British bantamweight title, against the strong Welshman from Swansea, Peter Harris, who's blown his chance of a crack at the title. But putting on some fight here. And still dangerous. Of Webb's again. The key punch in this fight so far. John Cole hasn't had too much to do. It's been a pretty open fight, a hard fight, plenty of punches being thrown and plenty landing. Webb was hurt. Something caught him low down, I think. Quite a punishing fight for both men. Halfway distance, and Webb thinking to himself, I thought I might have got rid of this man by now, but he's still there and he still seems to be quite strong, so there could be quite a long way to go yet. This red-haired Welshman is in the same camp as Robert Dickey, the new British featherweight champion. Recently won the vacant title, the one vacated, of course, by Barry McGuigan. Won it against John Feeney. And Harris is out of the same stable, managed by Colin Breen. And it's a stable of pretty useful boxers. Well, Webb clearly ahead on points at this stage, but still hasn't quite imposed himself on Harris. And you still have this sneaking feeling that Harris might do something dramatic. time he gets caught. Webb, he has a little smile, trying to convince Harris it didn't hurt. Well, he didn't smile that time. This fight is not won yet by Webb, I tell you. Good right. Harris looked a bit wobbly again there when he was caught by that right. That's the punch that's always given him trouble. Webb has set a fast pace in this round. He's come forward all the time. Worked hard. Harris just acknowledging that it was low, but it was okay. Harris getting a bit careless with his head now. Ducking in all the time. Well, it's definitely Webb's round, so he's increased his lead a little further. But the man is still obstinately on his feet. Well, there was a right hand here early on in that round that once again caught Harris, and he looked in trouble again when he took it. Didn't say it. So 4 rounds remaining of this fierce catchweights battle between Roy Webb, the new challenger for the British bantamweight title, and the man who should have fought a final eliminator with him, the red-headed Welshman, Peter Harris. Harris 23, Webb 24. Webb, the winner of all 11 pro fights that he's had so far, and Harris winner of 7 of 14. And Webb comfortably ahead now, but with a dangerous man still in front of him. And he's being whirled around, Webb, and grimaces. Now, he's hurt his shoulder in that little wrestling maul there. He was whirled around by Harris and clearly has hurt his shoulder or his arm. He might make Harris pay for that. Better punching in that exchange coming from Harris. And Harris getting the come on signal from his corner. Sensing that Webb has been taken out of his stride a bit by that little bit of right arm trouble. Harris again very careless with his head. Again he ducks in. With that head in his face all the time, Webb will be seeing red in both senses. Rather messy round this time. Well, we've gone past 3 minutes. Probably time taken off for that little incident with the arm. So this obstinate man, Harris, who refuses to go under to right-hand punching, has been down once, been in trouble a few times, but has always come back and shown himself, despite all the problems of trying to make the weight, has shown himself still to be a strong and durable opponent. And the fight is over. The fight's been called off. They've pulled Webb out of this fight. Well, what an amazing turnaround. Suddenly, Peter Harris, the man who should have fought a final eliminator for the British bantamweight title tonight and didn't make the weight and didn't make it by 2 pounds, has come into the ring in a catchweights contest and bows to this Belfast audience in celebration of an amazing victory over Roy Webb, who's been pulled out of the fight in between the 8th and 9th rounds.